in my own hometown. Stranger.
Howdy all. Little John. At the brewery. In the brew cave, and thought it was time to do a few taste testers on some, specifically the Blood Nose IPA, which was done last month. It's now been in the bottles for okay, actually haven't got it right there. Bottle on the 2nd, so it's 3 weeks old. Now this is the batch that was done from the split batch. It was mostly done, I used Yarillo hops for bittering, and then went with Eldorado for our flavour hops at 10.5 and flame out, and then we went for some dry hopping. The dry hop was split between Eldorado in one batch and Mosaic in the other, and also ran them with different yeast. So the Eldorado was run with Liberty Bell, and the Mosaic was run with Imperial juice. This is the first batch I've ever actually used Imperial yeast on. A couple of people have asked about whether I've ever used it, and I've looked at it. Obviously it's available through Cheeky Peaky, was sort of supplier I use reasonably often. Never got around to it, but mate Nathan had some, and he dropped me in a little watch sample of it, so I thought we'll give it a whirl. And the Eldorado version was run with Liberty Bell, which was a fresh cake from a previous batch. It was still in the fermenter, so I pitched straight onto that, which again for me is something different. I normally certainly don't do that sort of thing too often. Now, get these bottles right. Now while I'm at it, I've also pulled out a couple of old bottles. Now these are the it goes back to the cheap kit beer experiment, which was done back in the middle of the year with the home brand lagers and different methods, which we'll run through when I get to them, and also the batch that followed that, which was actual Cooper's lager. I'm still keeping on that sort of cheaper kit beer sort of a theme. I think I just noticed it before. This was done back in June, late June or early July. So these have both got a bit of time on them, so I just wanted to have a bit of a go how they are with some time sitting to see how that's affected them. So, as I said, Blood Nose IPA. So in the bottle, I said it's just over 3 weeks old since it's been bottled. It's only been in the fridge for I think 2, maybe 3 nights. But I can tell you, even just here, I can get in this big, punch of fruitiness in the nose, which is exactly what we're after. The Blood Nose IPA was that punch in the nose. We use that a lot of Eldorado. So this is the first one we're looking at, which is was the Mosaic dry hop. Original gravity 1054. As I said, used the Imperial yeast with a rinse slurry from Nathan. It was only about a 20 ml slurry, which was made into a starter. It wasn't a big starter. They're only half batches, so only 12 litres. It's been dry hopped with a total of 80 grams of Mosaic. 2 dry hopped, 40 gram each, day 5 and day 9. very fruity smelling. Just see it's got a bit of haze there, and obviously it means it's still reasonably fresh. It hasn't had really had all the time to settle out. Not as much in your face as you sort of the nose sort of indicates, but there's plenty of fruit there. Good flavour, nice balance. A little bit of tart edge, lemony sort of tartness. Exactly where that's coming from, don't know. Could be from the Eldorado, could be from the flavour, it could be the Mosaic. We'll compare the actual Eldorado, which is a little bit clearer. It's and that's probably just a probably more a yeast thing, given it's the same apart from the dry hop. Now the Eldorado was dry hop with 50 grams each on day 5 and day 9, so the same time as the Mosaic, but it's definitely got nowhere near the nose of the Mosaic version. And so this was done with Liberty Bell, which was just pitched onto a cake which had been used on a it's actually been used on the small batch IPA stovetop, which I've done the brew before, which I would have liked to have been tasting today, but some of the New England IPA just won't run out, so it's just sitting over here on the floor in a keg, waiting to get on tap. So I'm hoping that will happen very soon, because it's now been sitting around for about bloody 5 or 6 weeks, and it really needs to get in there so I can drink it. So I'm really looking forward to the taste tester on that one. I'm sure there's a few people waiting on that as well, just to see the result of that simple brew. But anyway, back to this one. Okay, yes, none of that lemon tartness is in there, so it's definitely a Mosaic, in a dry hop. The hop's definitely not as big in that. And the beer itself seems a little bit thinner. And I would say it's actually sort of lacking as a result. Now, the original gravity was 1054. The Liberty Bell's come down to 1015. The juice come down to 1014. So they're very similar. But again, that one's finished a point higher, but it's seemed to be thinner than that one. It's got more the feel and the taste of a, you know, the Pacific ale, that sort of, you know, lighter, yeah, thinner body. That's got more body in it. Well, it's only 42. IBU calculated at 42, so it's on the very, very low side of an IPA. Wasn't looking for a big one. Was more sort of pushing that higher end of like that cross between the pale ale and the IPA. Yeah, even almost into that XPA sort of territory. Where it's not one, it's not the other. And it probably is more in that sort of vein. 5.5% alcohol or thereabouts. So it covers that range. But overall, for me, the hop profile is not particularly working. No, it's not bad. But I think the Eldorado needed a little bit more with it to really push it. I've done Eldorado previously with Amarillo in a pale ale. It worked really well. But it's reasonably subtle, and it seems again that the subtleness isn't working in a bigger beer. Works really good in a pale ale where you're down that the low 30 IBUs. Worked really well. In this, when you're looking for something a bit more, it's not. I don't think it works. The Mosaic has given it a lift with the dry hop. Definitely got a bit more there. Again, this is only personal. Plenty of people would really enjoy it, and they're not a bad beer. They're nice beers. They're not really what I was after. We can't always get exactly what we're after. That's the beauty of home brew. These will be quite drinkable on a nice hot day, which isn't going to be a bad thing coming through summer. They're not ridiculously heavy on the alcohol, so it'll be easy to have a couple on a hot day without getting too silly. Definitely not in session territory, but we're not pushing that 6.5 IPA sort of range either. So I think both could really benefit from a little bit extra oomph in the malt. There's nothing really in there that's given it any real push. There's no crystal. There's a little bit of caramel, a little bit of carapils, but that's sort of it. So it would certainly benefit from a bit of crystal or some caramunic, something just to push that malt a little bit more. But certainly drinkable. If you enjoyed Eldorado and Mosaic, certainly not a bad beer. We'll call them a success. Like I said, they're not bad. They're bad beers. They're good. They're drinkable. They work. Little minor tweaks, and they'd be really good beers. Now, I want to step over to these other couple just quickly. Going back to these cheap. There was the cheap homebrew lager and the Cooper's lager. This was just looking at knocking out some cheap beers. And the sort of results you could get. Now, the first batch, which is a home brand lager, was done bottled end of May. So these are now coming up on 6 months old. So they've had plenty of time to age and sort of settle and whatnot. Now, my original memories, and I've got no tasting notes on here, but these were particularly disappointing. Batch 1 was just a basic BE1 with a little bit of Amarillo in a 15-minute boil, and just a kit yeast hydrated, just a single kit yeast, half a bloody batch. So essentially 2 packs of kit yeast in a batch. Brilliantly clear. There's not much head left on it. Did pour it a little bit of head. smells like a dirty lager, almost like the VB that the bottle's coming out of. It's pretty bland and flavourless, really. There's not much flavour going on there. It's nothing offensive, but nothing that gives you any reason to want to keep drinking it. The second version was done with dry malt, through with a glacier in it. It was done with a hydrate S189, equivalent to 2 packs per 23 litre brew. Again, it's nice and clear, which again you'd expect after 6 months sitting, but it's still got that same lagery, dirty nose. Yeah, that's even courtesy of the lager yeast. It's even blander than that. And again, no reason why you want to be drinking it, but I will say this: if you're into things like Iron Jack, Great Northern, those sort of, what are the very popular run of current lagers, you're very much in the you're in the same sort of field, same range. You give that to somebody who drinks those sort of beers, they're going to love it. So from that perspective, that one, the 189, so homebred lager, what would be a kilo of light dry malt, 200 grams of Dex, surprisingly high standard recommendation for a kit beer, 25 grams of glacier at just 15 minutes to some flavour, with the S189 2 packs, and it was done just at ambient in the garage, 15 to 18 degrees, and bang, you've knocked out a really decent replica. So decent replica of mainstream Aussie lager. Your mainstream mates would absolutely bloody lap that up. So, not a beer I want to drink, but from the experimental side, that's a success. As I said, that's 6 months of aging. It wasn't real great on initial testing, which was done after about 4 weeks. So, my belief is that these sort of beers do need 3 months of aging. So, that's quite possibly sticking within that, and it ticks every box of what I'd recommend for a standard kit beer. So next one was the step up from that, using the Cooper's Lager can and just taking that cheap beer just a little bit level to the next level. First batch was BE2 with 1 pack of Nottingham hydrated, 11 litres, 1040 gravity. And that's it, no hops added to it, so it's basically just a straight up Cooper's Lager kit with the recommended 2 packs of hydrated quality yeast. Nottingham brewed at 18 degrees, thereabouts on the garage. So 1040 gravity. Final gravity is 1.003 on the Nottingham, so she went down quite a long way, 4.8%. Actually, no, sorry, 1.007. That's when I busted my hydrometer. So the 1002 was a reading off my old hydrometer, which was not accurate. So rechecked 1007. It's got a weird weird little nose to it. This was bottled mid-June, so it's almost 5 months old. And it's got cidery notes, amount of kick twang, really weird nose. But it's not an off nose, but it's just weird. Doesn't smell like beer should smell. Very thin, just, yeah, it's almost winey. Yuck. The only word for it, yuck. Yeah, that is bad. That's bad beer, no doubt about it. Second half of this one was done with light dry malt, about 1200 grams per full batch, 100 gram of Dex, so 200 grams of Dex, so a little bit heavier on the malt than the standard. That recommended amount I do. Had 9 grams of Galaxy, 14 grams of Motueka, boiled for 5 minutes with S189. A rinse slurry, which is only a couple of days old, so it was reasonably fresh. Estimated 110 billion cells, so the equivalent of 2 packs going in. 10:41, finished at 10:08. So this fella finished at 10:07. 10:08, so still reasonably dry. So it's a bit darker in the colour. It's got with extra malt in there. It's a bit darker. It's got a little bit more the standard lagery taste or smell. Sorry. Well, that's definitely got some more interest in it. It's got some more flavour. Good notes from the Motueka and the Galaxy. But again, it's not a good beer. It's thin. It's lacking a bit of flavour. Yeah. So very interesting this, because what this reinforces particularly with this, and there's plenty of people who are going to disagree with this, and probably quite possibly offend a lot of kit brewers, but it just shows and reinforces how hard it is to make a good beer with a kit tin. I said, not saying it can't be done. Never ever said it can't be done, because it can be done. I've had some really good beers. Kingsley's Passion Fruit Cerveza, that's bloody, yeah, I bottled up a couple of days ago. I've no doubt it's going to be a really, a good beer. But it's hard to make good beer consistently, kits, without putting a lot of effort into it. Right there's 3 beers, all made. There's nothing out of the ordinary with those beers. They're all made, with standard ingredients, with standard processes, and the way that everybody would make a beer. And in all honesty, I don't want to drink any of them. I am loath to even give them away to people who are desperate for free beer. Maybe that one. may give the father-in-law a carton of that carton, because then I've got a carton of that just to, you know, Christmas. But yeah, nasty. Anyway, that's me. That's it. My opinion. People are going to disagree with me. That's it. Play around. You can do what you want. But that's those 6 beers. That's my impression of them. So yeah, not a. I didn't expect these 4 or anything, because I've done some testing them before. They weren't great. The 2 IPAs, what's it? Just a little on the disappointing side. They're not bad. They're just not what I was after. As I said, it was more an experiment using an Eldorado. So, and they're only young. Give them they'll go all right over summer. That mosaic, that lemony twist, and it's light and it's reasonably fresh, and with the tartness, I think it's going to go really well on a good hot day. Has the qualities of, you know, a light cerveza, that sort of quenching flavour, without having the dullness. Yeah, that'll go nice on a hot day. So that's me for today anyway. We'll wrap it up. As I said, you got any comments, stick them down the bottom. You don't have a go at me because I said you can't make a bloody good kit beer. Go for your life. Let's have a discussion. You know, if you want to know, you know, any more details, and more in depth about anything in particular, you know, ask the questions, put the comments down the bottom. If you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button down the bottom. We're always playing around with different kinds of beers. This is the sort of thing we're playing around with, trying to make good kit beers. You know, playing around with different hop combinations, looking at what we can do, how we can improve the beers, how we can make them better, how we can avoid making the bad beers. That's it. That's me, Little John for the day. So, till I'm looking at you again, we're brewing beer, talking beer. Are we drinking beer? Good brewing.